The ATO is auditing people constantly. You're probably at this video because you're one of those people. Everyone vaguely knows someone who has been audited. I've never met anyone who said it was a fun experience and that they'd like to do it again. Even the auditors don't say that. Over the last 10 years, I've had the pleasure of dealing with the tax office almost daily. I'm going to share some trade secrets with you on what has worked for me and my clients in the past. But first, we need to recognize a few things. First, the audit officer has done a lot more audits than you have. Second, the audit officer has seen some serious scams, and they all have been affected by the experience. It means they are more inclined to think there is something fishy going on. Third, the audit officer does this all day, every day. That's their job, whereas you have other things to do. This puts you in a generally weaker position, and you should be aware of this so you can manage the situation and come up with the right strategy. They probably have a lot more time than you because this is all they do every day, so you can't fight them with the delay tactics, especially when you have a business to run or something better to do. They have more resources than you. They're the federal government. So playing the run out of resources game won't work. The strategy I prefer is what I call the sniper strategy, a targeted and simple cut through the noise strategy to get efficient results with minimal resources. I can explain that strategy in a separate video. For now, you just need to know what to do. Stage 1. One of the tricks the ATO will use is to start by calling you and asking you questions. These guys will sound like a really nice guy on the phone, really friendly, just trying to help. But remember, so is the used car salesman who sells you a lemon. They will listen carefully to your response and how you respond. If you have a suspicious emotional response, they'll know. Remember, they do thousands of these audits, and if you do answer, they will hold you to the off-the-cuff answers you give, so it's better if you do not answer these questions unless you are absolutely certain of the answer. If you change your answer later on, it will arouse suspicion and make the audit take longer. It is very hard to convince the ATO to accept a change to the original off-the-cuff answer. It is better to just say you will check with your accountant and get back to them. Stage 2. If you want an audit to be complete quickly, you need to make sure you've got everything in order before you respond. You need to know where you stand and stick to it. Go through your accounts and make sure they're in order. That way you can raise any or all tax issues in one go and identify how you will go about rectifying any mistakes if there are any. This process is critical. You need to check your own accounts properly and know where you stand. Stage 3. Don't ramble on. Just honestly answer the exact questions they've asked, nothing more. You know more about your business than they do. Don't confuse them by mentioning things they haven't asked about. It will just make the process take longer, as they will need to digest this information and wonder why you were telling them all of this. Don't baffle the audit officer. At the end of the day, they just want to have confidence that you did your taxes correctly. The stuff you say that makes you sound like a banana is probably going to make them think you haven't done things correctly. Just imagine it from their perspective for a moment. Stage 4. Stay calm. Don't read too much into what happens. Another frustrating thing that ATO sometimes does is to ask you for extra information unnecessarily, often at a later date. Don't read too much into this, and don't get too stressed out either, as that's just part of their internal process. Sometimes they miss things. Sometimes they're just testing you. They might even blame something on you. Who cares? If you know where you stand and stick to it, you will keep yourself in the best possible position. Stage 5. The result. If you end up disagreeing with the audit officer on how much you owe, there are other options. We will discuss these in a separate video.